that's totally disconnected from the real world. Those are the things that are absolutely going to change. And I'm going to tell you something else that is going to change, and it's starting to change right now. Our fundamental approach to how we teach kids how to read. And you think about this. For the last 25 years, we've engaged in something that's called balanced literacy. We've been misled. What did Malcolm say? Led astray. Run them up. Right? Bamboozle. I don't care what community you came from in New York City. If you grew up in the 60s or the 70s, at the very least, you learned how to read. If we don't do anything else as a system, we're supposed to guarantee that everybody can read. You know that 65% of black and brown children today never achieve reading proficiency in our school system with a $38 billion budget. It's not that teachers don't care, educators don't care. The approach that we took has failed us. And that's why under this administration, we've already announced very clearly, every superintendent knows it, every principal knows it. We're going back to the basics of the phonetic approach to the teaching of reading. You stop playing around with all these other games that has taken our kids really way off track. Because if you don't get the basics of literacy by the 3rd grade, everything else that we're doing, we're simply playing catch up after that. Because the other part of our agenda is about bold futures, career pathways, taking advantage of this new 21st century economy. There are great opportunities out here for our young people, but they're not ready for them because they've just been going to school every day, totally disconnected from anything that's real or relevant. It's hard to imagine being an investment banker if you've never met one. It's hard to understand what it means to be in the STEM fields and technology and healthcare and business if you've not had any exposure to those industries. We're going to be making a major announcement on Monday, and so please listen out for that, about our career pathways work. This is the work that is going to make school purposeful for our children. I visited Rikers Island a couple of months ago, and I talked to these young people, and I asked them, I said, you know, tell me, how did you wind up here? And every single one of these young men told me about how they got disconnected from school. School was whack. School was boring. They didn't understand why I was going to school. And yet in prison, they were sitting there engaged in HVAC training, plumbing, becoming electricians, so that they could develop some skills that when they left, they would at least be able to come out with some skills. One young man put his hand up. He said, sir, if I was learning this school stuff while I was in school, I would have gone to school every day. Now you think about that. You have to go to jail to ultimately find something more purposeful. Our young people are absolutely brilliant. They got everything that they need. We have to give them the supports to get them on the right track. That's what I'm committed to. So it's called Bright Starts, Bold Futures. Bright Starts, Bold Futures. Bright Starts, Bold Futures. So anybody ask you, what is this Chancellor talking about? He's talking about Bright Starts and Bold Futures. Making sure that every child can read. There has to be no excuses around that. Solid foundation in literacy, and then ultimately, when they graduate from our schools, where are we taking them? What are the experiences that we want them to be able to have? That's what I'm totally focused on. That's what this administration is going to be about. In order to get there, a lot of things that we have to do. The kids, we're going to make sure we continue to support our kids with the arts and music and all those things that really make a difference in the lives of all of our kids. But a final point I want to tell you is this. We can't kid ourselves. We are facing tremendous financial challenges that are coming our way. I've taken some criticism. The mayor's certainly taken a lot of criticism around, you know, a couple of $100 million in budget cuts. I'm telling you something. What's coming is much more significant. And we're going to have to really figure out how we get really smart about how we're using our dollars and our resources in our schools and across this city. Because the economic cliff, all the experts are predicting, is on its way. And we're going to really have to tighten our belts. So this stuff that we're looking at now is small potatoes compared to what is coming. So we have to be prepared. And I believe, though, that if we are smart about how we move, and we readjust how our kids are actually learning in schools, and we think outside of the box, there are things that we can do that will be able to still transform the system and transform the lives of all of our young people. So we opened up schools yesterday. I'm going to have to get ready to leave here. I wish I could stay longer and just really connect with all of you. I'm heading to Staten Island. There's a new school that just opened up yesterday, the Young Women's Leadership School, all-girls school on Staten Island. We have an all-boys school, an Eagle Academy on Staten Island. And it was the only all-boys school. There was no all-girls school. So the boys at Eagle Academy are thrilled that we opening up an all-girls school right across the street. So I'm going out there to welcome all of them on their second day of school and to see how things are going. And from there, I'm going to be in East Harlem. Yesterday, I was in Queens. I was started in